political risk analyst. Ross, not a lot in Xi's words that the world didn't expect to hear.
I think that's a very accurate way to describe it, whether it's domestic policy or the periphery, like Hong Kong and Taiwan, or China's role in the world. I think most of what she said are things that he has said before, and that leaves a lot of commentary and China watchers outside of China trying to find something to write or say about in the last few hours, frankly. So then they do focus on the Taiwan aspect or the COVID aspect on Taiwan, the threat to use force, again, it's not new. The criticism of foreign interference, not new. Confidence in their COVID policy, again, not new. And no changes were announced, right? It'd be a little silly to expect that he would use this opportunity to say we're reversing our COVID policy.
Yeah, I mean, steady leadership seems to be what he wants to convey without rattling anything there. When you look at his last 10 years in power, though, one thing that he has done is roll back virtually all of the checks and balances that his predecessors put into the system to make sure that one leader would not gain too much power. And now here we are with him having consolidated power and gaining an unprecedented third term. Doesn't this worry some people within that system?
Certainly it does, but to the extent that they have influence and voice those concerns, inevitably they do get pushed aside. And that's just the nature of an authoritarian system where one individual and the people that support him have now come to dominate that system. But it's also important to keep in mind that in the history of the People's Republic of China, established in 1949, obviously Mao ruled for many decades. Deng Xiaoping also ruled for an extended period of time, much longer than 10 years, even though his job titles or what they may have presented to the public was different. But yeah, it's a step away from the model of his most immediate predecessor, Hu Jintao. But I think we need to be careful about saying that this has not happened before in the history of the People's Republic of China.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. You look at his predecessors, though, trying to refine the system and avoid a cult of personality. I mean, I wouldn't say that what exists now in China is a cult of personality, but when you look at Xi, you see somebody with an extraordinary amount of power in a system that was designed to not have that happen.
And I think they're struggling with that because he has come to take on this dominant role in political decision making, or again, the people who support his leadership have collectively taken on a dominant role. So there aren't many alternative voices that are heard. Yeah, they want to avoid it coming across as a cult of personality. But at the risk of somewhat circular discussion, to safeguard his position, they have to praise his leadership. His thought has to be built in to the overriding dogma of the party in official documents, et cetera, et cetera. His photo has to be everywhere in the state media. And his policies are the policies, right? So it does get presented as Xi Jinping's policies. So that's a struggle. Will they be able to come up with a way to avoid the risk of it being seen as a cult of personality, and then causes a backlash within the party or within the military? That will be something remains to be seen, and something that he's going to have to struggle with in the coming few years.
All right, Ross, good to talk to you.
Thank you.